Have you ever felt like you were launched into the past? Obviously, there's nothing like time travel yet, but there's something about nostalgia that can make you feel like you were thrown back to years ago. It's really strange. You could just be sitting in your room late at night, in the middle of scrolling through your phone, and maybe one of the posts you see bring back a wave of memories. It's not like you're asking for it, but it's still there and puts you in a completely different time. You could be in an old classroom, or some park where you used to spend your time with your friends, and it's like you can almost feel the air of that moment again. That feeling when you get a wash of piece of you, like your brain went through it for a second time. Think of it like looking at an old photo, or coming across a song you used to listen to on repeat every day, to the point that you'd restart it if you didn't think you appreciated it enough. And for a couple seconds, you're able to close your eyes and remember when things were slower, more simple and enjoyable, like the world made more sense. It's odd just how much a sound, smell, or even just an image can make you miss who you were not even that long ago. A version of yourself that doesn't exist anymore, and was placed with you instead. Someone who's more grown and yearns for that time back. But that's the thing about growing up. It's not just stepping forward, it's like giving things away too. As you go through life, you're giving away pieces of the old you to fit in, get experience, and gain responsibility. And sometimes, when you look back, it looks like you lost a lot more than you gained. Nostalgia becomes a way of visiting that part again, even if it's just looking back through your mind's window. No, while this phenomenon isn't uncommon, it feels a lot more prominent than it did before. Like nostalgia is hitting much harder than it used to. And why is that? Why is it that we, as a generation, crave the past so much, even though most of us are still so young? It should be older people who are already halfway through with their lives. But instead, there's an abundance of teenagers yearning for what was less than a decade ago. The actual reasoning for this is a lot more complicated than most people really know. It used to take decades for nostalgia to kick in. Your parents probably didn't even feel very nostalgic until they were long out of their childhood, or at least mid-20s. But people now, they're feeling nostalgic at age 15. They're barely out of being a preteen. And I think that's what's crazy. These people aren't reminiscing about some distant past, but instead, they're looking back at things that happened literally a few summers ago. The good old days for Gen Z or Gen Alpha might mean 2018, or even 2021 was the current time range. The old internet might just mean when TikTok was still under Musical.ly or something. It seems like the cutoff for nostalgia is so much shorter. For most people, it might have been about a decade, if not a bit more. But now people are feeling nostalgic for the early 2020s. That's COVID time. That's barely even 5 years ago if we're going all the way back. The internet has completely broken our sense of time and how we view it. I think it's kind of ironic that what some people describe as one of the darkest, most uncertain times in a lot of people's memories became a source of comfort. Maybe it's because we remember being forced to slow down. For a brief time, life was kind of just always the same. It was a time when people had time to focus on their hobbies, spend time with their family, and didn't really get thrown around with a million different things. And now, with the world spinning faster than ever, that stillness in our memories is what keeps us in place. With how social media constantly gives us reminders of a few years ago, or even just a year ago with some apps, like old posts, trends, and anything else you put out there. It's just a time machine that's meant to make you relive your past. Even trends that were popular just 2 years ago feel like ancient history now. Meme culture has become so quick and oversaturated to the point that it's making things from 2024 seem like it's from years ago. It's to the point that the internet moves so fast that nostalgia doesn't even take years anymore. It just needs you to scroll on your phone for a little. Also now, everything feels so much more temporary. Before the internet, pop culture lasted so much longer. TV shows ran for more than 3 or 4 seasons. Albums were what got popular, not just one song, and things would stick for months before they were moved past. But now we fly right past it at the month's end. At this point, everything disappears the moment it becomes popular. Trends peak for a couple weeks, maybe months if it's really good. But we're at the point of one-hit wonders with everything. Things will blow up overnight just for them to fade off into the algorithm after a couple days. With all this motion, nostalgia has become the only kind of anchor that we really have. It's something stable that we can keep up with and never changes, even with the speed of everything else in our lives. Maybe that's why people love rewatching their old favorite shows so much, or listening to the same songs they listened through all throughout high school. It's not about the media itself, or maybe not even a genuine interest of theirs anymore, but it's something that's familiar and kind. It's a fallback that reminds you of who you were and how much easier it was back then. Scientifically speaking, the reason nostalgia makes us feel this way is because of the chemicals it releases, that being dopamine and oxytocin. These make you feel love, comfort, and activate the emotional centers in your brain that can remind you exactly how it felt at the time. This is why when you look back at the past, it feels so much more safe. For a second, your brain thinks it went back to that moment and that you're happier again. It's pretty comforting, even if it might also make you a bit sad. And when life has all the stress, it makes it easy to go back to those times when things were much easier, through old games, shows, or anything else from our childhood really. We're able to go back to a time when we didn't have to worry about our future as much. At least not in a way that would impact who we are and if the bills would get paid. And nostalgia isn't the only thing about missing our past at all. It's also just about wanting to feel how we used to feel, how things were when they were more simple, and curiosity led us through everything. Also now, things aren't like how they used to be at all. The world isn't as personal as it was before. The early internet was a time when we had personality on pretty much every site. It was weird and definitely unsafe for all the unsupervised kids that were on it, much more so than now. Now though, everything's all about being polished and refined. They don't allow for nearly as much individuality as they used to because it's meant to be all about trendy things and engagement bait since that's what the algorithm likes. Personal aesthetics are all gone for actual interesting people. And I think that we miss those things a lot. They're what made the internet feel really real and actually connected to other people. It reminded you that there was an actual person on the other side of the screen, not just some text that appeared out of nowhere. There weren't all these brands trying to push things on you, or a million ad rolls every minute. It was just people doing whatever they wanted at the time without any interruptions. So when people look back and say that they're missing the design, I think it's more than that. They're also missing that feeling of freedom and being away from the corporate world in general. It was a form of escapism for a lot of people. And it's not like these corporate brands don't know this either. They know everything is nostalgic now, which leads them to release a bunch of things that they had in the past. They see what's trending and bring it out instantly, like Y2K clothing, grunge aesthetics, show reboots, and revamps of old games just to resell them. And it's not any coincidence. Nostalgia sells really well. Companies use this because it gives them a lot of money, which is ironic since it moves us faster and onto different things when they do. In conclusion, maybe nostalgia hits harder now because we're constantly running out of time. We keep moving from one moment to the next without stopping for anything. It's all rush slop that people don't care about anymore. But nostalgia is the one thing that lets us pause and not think about that constant motion of junk being pushed out without any real thoughts behind it. It's like your mind is trying to tell you to sit down and remember when things are better, just to feel that way for a little again. And that's okay. Nostalgia is not about living in the past, but it's more about finding a peace of mind in the memories we were given from that past. So the next time you miss a memory that's long gone, you really shouldn't feel bad about it. You should just let yourself remember it's there and that nothing will ever change it.